Sleepers Podcast, Tuesday, June 17th. Card is here. I'm here. It's post-Father's Day weekend on a Monday that we are recording this, and I have some breaking news to share with the world. I teased this before the weekend. On Monday, we would have some major Sleepers Media breaking news. Breaking news. Carter has the sniffles.
I do have the sniffles. One part they don't tell you about fatherhood is that children, mainly young children, are vessels for germs. Absolute vessels. Son had a little bit of a cold this week. Obviously, us being his parents, took him to the pediatrician. Everything was all good. You know what I'm saying? Lungs clear, breathe. Everything was completely fine. Just a natural cold. Happens to everybody. He got better in like probably 7 hours, I would say. Good night rest, a little bit of Benadryl. He's bouncing back. He's ready to go. But that cold is tearing my wife and I down, man. My eyes water when I don't want them to water. I'm pumping Dayquil. I'm pumping NyQuil. Got a little bit of a scratchy throat here, but I'm powering through as best I can. But shout out to the good people at Kleenex for sponsoring today's episode.
Well, on behalf of our entire listener base, thank you for gutting this out today. It's been an impressive example of your physical resilience. When you get the sniffles, when you get sick, what do you get the worst of? Like, are you a runny nose guy? Are you a congestion guy? Are you a sore throat guy? What do you get the worst?
Definitely just runny nose, like just congestion in the nose, which I would say that combined with I don't know if this is for everybody, but when I get colds, my eyes just water all the time.
Interesting.
Yeah, like I'll just it's like eyes will just water out of nowhere, and it's very inconvenient.
That's not just you crying.
No, not a crier. You know this. You should be better. You should be better than this. You know I'm not a crier.
So your eyes are actively watering, but you're not a crier.
Yeah, have not cried since the birth of my son.
But you've had tears coming out today,
Yes.
but you haven't
Well,
cried.
no, not those aren't tears. That's water.
Tears are also water, Carter.
Yeah, but tears have a different meaning. Like your eyes can water, but it's not necessarily tears. Tears are tears. Water is water.
Oh, okay. So it's like when I hit you, and if someone
Mhm.
asked me like, "When's the last time you hit cart?" and I would be like, "I've never hit cart." You'd be like, "You hit me a while," and I'm like, "No, there's a different meaning to when I hit you for a joke versus when I actually hit you."
Yeah, that's literally 100% true. Yeah, that you got it.
Okay, all right. Well, anyways, thanks for being here. Great to be with you. Did you have a good Father's Day? How did your sickness affect your Father's Day?
So obviously, like being under the weather wasn't the greatest, but all in all, it was a great first Father's Day. I felt all the love from everybody. I obviously felt the love from the wife. Got like a nice little shirt with my son's name on it. Also got like a customized book, which I'm very excited about. It's basically like a classic like nighttime picture book, kind of like that, but it's literally customized with him and I with pictures of us in it. So I really enjoyed that one. Read that one to him last night before bed. It was a nice moment.
Very nice. That sounds like a great Father's Day.
How about you?
Welcome to the fathers past their first Father's Day club, my friend. It's great to be joined by somebody else in this club. Father's Day was good for me. We went to the Tigers game. I got this hat. That's cool. Blew the game. Shout out Will Vest. I'm calling him Will Verst from now on because there's nothing.
Oh,
There's,
don't blame Will.
there's nothing.
There's someone directly to blame here.
There's nothing the Vest about him. There's a lot the Verst about him. Who are we blaming?
Listen, also happy Father's Day to him, but this is all on Zach Hurth.
Oh yeah, the text was crazy.
Texas crazy. I mean, Texas
Text was
insane,
crazy.
and they immediately fell apart.
The text was crazy, but it's okay. I still had a fun time. I went and drank a bunch of Father's Day beers. Took my daughter on the carousel. That was great. I chugged a beer because you told me to get a Miller Lite draft, and I was going to send a video to you in response. And then in the middle of recording that video, I saw Jaden Akins. So like while I'm right about to chug a beer, I was just like, Jaden, what's good? And if my wife, no shots at her, but if she would have done a little better camera work, we could have gotten a pan to Jaden Akins being like this, right back to me chugging a beer. In the end, we only saw him in the background while I'm chugging the beer, but it still resonated. I had a great day, minus the Tigers losing. Did you enjoy JJ Spawn's heroics?
Honestly, it was super impressive given the fact that I had to get over my saltiness of having a Victor Hovland tournament bet, which gosh would have been very, very nice. But uh any other person crumbles, I think, after what JJ Spawn did, like hitting the rake and then the weather delay and like him bogeying all those holes. Those last two holes by him were special. And that walk-off 60-footer putt was nasty. Like obviously he could have two-putted that, but to walk off with that, it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, the drive isn't getting enough love. The drive, the green par four, put it to 17 feet is like the best golf shot I've seen this year. And then we just forgot about it because he holed the putt when he needed to two putt. But like
Yeah.
that sequence was insane. Honestly, I thought about tweeting this, but it just felt a little weird to actually tweet it. The screenshot of Carlos Alcaraz when he's facing game point down 40 love or match point down 40 love, and then the screenshot of JJ Spawn's card when he had five bogeys in the first six holes. Those do the same thing to me emotionally now. Like pretty insane examples of resilience in our sports world in the last couple weeks, and another great example of resilience from you podcasting with Brunny Nose.
Many say I am the JJ Spawn of Sleepers Media.
Makes a lot of sense, honestly. Should we get to the show?
Let's get to the show. We're going to start today's show with a YouTube comment of the day. Let's see what we can have here. Maybe I'll just do this thing that I should be doing and taking the first comment that I see. Nope, I will not do that given where I saw what the first comment is. Let's go with. Actually, the first one is on the defining success for our favorite college basketball teams next year, and it is Greg disrespecting Illinois again. So predictable, so tired. Greg, were you disrespecting Illinois?
In what video?
The defining success for our favorite college basketball teams next year.
You tell me. My answer for that, we went team by team. We were trying to say like what would their fans consider success? And my answer for Illinois was make the round of 32, finish in the upper half of the Big Ten. That's what they extended their coach over. That's what they have defined as success. Win a tournament game, be a top half Big Ten team. If that's being interpreted as disrespect by me, I would ask you how you feel about your own program defining it that way. Like they're putting graphics out saying it's about tournament appearances. So you tell like is anyone going to come out of a season if Illinois makes the round of 32 and finishes sixth in the Big Ten next year? Is anyone really going to sit here and call it a failure? Nobody's calling last season a failure, and that's what they did, right?
Yeah, that's fair to say. I also finished it off with this bonus comment where Johnny Stiver says Reed Bailey over Merez all day. Not even close. Merez can rebound and dunk, and you talk like he's Shaq down low. I hate Indiana, but I like Merez, and he's a 17-minute per game energy guy who can come in and rebound. I know you like Merez at Illinois, but if you played in the Big Ten, Big 12, or the SEC last season, I seriously doubt you would have been this high on him.
Yeah, we'll see. Ask Jamie Shaw if he's high on him. Punking Chris Sinak right now as we speak. So
Also, if Merez was in the A10 like Reed Bailey was last year, I'd be even higher on him.
listen, I don't know if I've ever had more at stake with a player than Merez, but I'm frustrated, Cart, because people are acting like I'm jumping on the Merez Johnson train now that he's mine. And I'm not. I was on this train when he was at Illinois. I didn't know he would ever be mine, but my second favorite player in the country is now mine. What do you want me to do about it? I believe in this kid. I said he'd get his jersey hung in the rafters at Illinois if he stayed. He didn't stay. Now he's mine. I believe in him. So does On3. So does Gavoni. So does anyone watching Team USA camp right now. He's destroying the bigs. He's going to be good. I believe in him. Like, oh no, I'm crazy for thinking he's better than Reed Bailey. Come on now. Don't disrespect. We saw Merez. He averaged a double-double in like 4 starts. Why he didn't start more is beyond me. I don't know. Because they wanted to go 5 out and shoot a bazillion threes a game. I'll take double-doubles from my incoming sophomore. And then he'll probably leave me for North Carolina in a year. But let me enjoy the year. Damn it. That's my intention.
that's fair game to you on that one. Should we get the Discord comments?
Yeah, I also want you to know that I think it's funny when I get on like a rant in these episodes and you just like put your head straight down. It's like when it's how I imagine role players in the NBA feel when like someone calls their own shot. Like ISO clear out and you're like this.
Sometimes I gotta let you work to the best of your ability, and I think sometimes I can hinder you in those moments by my facial expressions.
Hmm. Did you see Boo Booey at Wrigley this weekend, by the way?
Yeah, it's lost its lore to me. I feel like Boo Booey goes to like monthly Wrigley trips, just
Hmm.
whether it's him or another Northwestern player throwing out the first pitch.
I wish I was there.
Should we go to Wrigley together soon?
I would like that. Yeah.
Yeah, let's make it happen. It won't. Join the Discord for $9.99 a month. Link is in the description of our Twitter bio. It's a great way to support Sleepers Media and a great way to be a part of the community that we are setting up over there. And by being a part of it, you get your comments read on every single episode that we do daily, 5 times a week. We are going to start today with the Pat Signal, who says, "Would you guys go skydiving? Also heard Mark Pope sleeps in that Letterman jacket. Go Cards."
No, never. Hard enough for me to get in a plane, let alone jump out of one.
Will never go skydiving ever. Malik Perry will forgive Carter for Thursday comment, reading he missed a bunch. Happy Father's Day. Know it was Sunday. Did your amazing wives get you anything? And he tagged Ralph and Riley.
If I could guess what those guys got, Riley probably got like some new grill utensils and a new rosary. And then I think Ralph got like a 6 pack of his favorite like quirky IPA, probably like a root beer IPA, and then like two new polo shirts.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like Ralph got a pair of new thong flip-flops and like two nice Peter Millar like polos that could be both like work, also maybe beach and like casual to like go hit a nice little outing with the family. Riley got hmm, honestly, I feel like he got some type of like new Bible, but like Theo drew on the inside of the first page or something like
Or
that.
honestly, like matching rosaries. Like he got a
Yeah.
new rosary, and so did Theo. And they, yeah,
Shout out to the days when rosaries used to be fashion. I used to like rock those with like fits
that's
all the time.
insane.
Yeah, I got
Insane.
fits off too.
Okay, all right.
Um, let's see. With TKR saying everything to boast this year's team, is he doing more help than harm?
I think the question should be the opposite, shouldn't it?
He's being TKR.
Yeah.
This is who he is. Moneyball will be back. Are you guys looking forward to another year of projections?
Honestly, no. I think this is my old man development year. I no longer care about Moneyball.
Fair, fair to say. Yeah, it's lost its luster to me, man. Truly. Uh, it's good that they do it though. Like I appreciate Moneyball and respect them for what they're doing because it does provide like this free community thing for players or for people and fans to come on and watch their favorite Michigan State players. Uh, that shit just used to mean something to me, man. It really did. It used to be something a little bit different than it is now, but all in all, it's great. Malik Perry, we had a sleepers reveal, fam, and a meetup. Wonder who I'd meet first. Greg has met a few members, so when will Greg, Carter, Riley, and Dion and Brian meet up? End of Father's Day. We all already have.
Yeah, basically Final Fours and like we used to go to like the Champions Classic and see a lot of those people too. Basically any basketball game driven events is when we'll see each other.
Yeah, Sleep Nash. I hope you guys had a great Father's Day. Cart, how do you feel about basketball shoes as casual wear? Um, I mean,
Sleeve's trying to diss me because I had the D books on at the Tigers game, and Sleeve responded to my a Twitter post being like, "We're gonna talk about hoop shoes at a baseball game." To be clear, I don't hoop in the D books; those aren't basketball shoes to me.
yeah, I mean, look, there's no like set shoe on what you wear, where you wear it. Also the books are fire, so like do what you want to do with those. I do know some people are very like anti, like you don't wear hoop shoes, not hooping.
I just want to be clear. I don't think books are hoop shoes. Like
You don't think? Oh, they're 100% hoop shoes.
no,
Everyone hoops in D
the
books.
pair of purple D books that I got are hoop shoes.
Yeah. Oh
No
yeah.
way. Those are dude. Those are way too like. Have you ever put a pair on?
Of the books?
Yeah.
No.
They are way too heavy to hoop in. Like just off fit alone, putting them on, I would never wear that to hoop.
See, I know some people don't feel. Some people love the books, the
They
hooping
are
on.
so heavy. They're bulky.
Really?
Yeah. I
Hmm.
cannot believe anybody would hoop in those.
Yeah. And teachers on. All hail the Pope. Is
I don't even
Elliot?
think Book hoops in those.
He does.
No.
Book hoops in his own shoes, Greg.
No. I call bullshit on this.
All hail the Pope. Is Elliot Cadeau basically Severe Wheeler?
I think he similar, yeah, similar right now.
Honestly, not even similar right now. With all due respect, Severe Wheeler was kind of fat. He also couldn't touch the backboard. Elliot Cadeau actually will punch on you. That is a real thing. Um, Same old lines. Last one. Just a reminder that AB is extremely unwell. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look at his post on Twitter about Caleb Williams. Yeah, AB needs help. Also, I want to let everyone in on a little bit something here. That's not Antonio Brown on that Twitter account.
It's not. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It's not. Antonio Brown is unhinged. Don't get me wrong, but that's not AB on that Twitter page.
Yeah. Isn't it literally like a Caucasian college kid? Yeah.
Yeah, which is a whole nother issue that needs to be discussed. But that does it for the Discord comments today.
Not great. Speaking of blank B celebrities that need help though, Justin Bieber, get help, dog. We got some issues right now. I'm getting scared.
Yeah, I'm getting scared too. Can we address the third issue that needs to be addressed?
Yeah.
I got a cut tomorrow. What do I do with this?
With the stash,
Yeah, do I keep it?
I would keep it, yeah.
I don't know if I just don't think I can pull it off.
I think it looks good, yeah.
Really?
I think you should shave under here and just keep only the stash.
Keep the stash? That'd be
Yeah.
great.
Keep
Who
the
am I?
stash for
Who
just
am I? Ben Shepherd?
just a couple days. Keep the stash and see if we like it.
All right, maybe let's give it a go.
Might become a stash guy in your dad years.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, crazy. All right. That's the comments. Should we do the rest of the show?
I'd like to.
We're brought to you by NBA 2K Lab, NBA2KLab.com. Got the best mini games, NBA 2K builds. They've got College Football 26 coming out soon. They've got a lot of content tailored to you, for you around it coming out. If you enjoy playing sports video games, you will enjoy everything that 2K Lab makes. They will make you have more fun playing NBA 2K and College Football 26. Go check out 2klab.com. Let's get to the show. Topic one today, the Wooden Award odds are out with DraftKings. And we did a video yesterday where we marveled about how Purdue has two of the top five. We also gave some general thoughts from us on the overall list. So I don't want to be redundant. You can go find that short if you want to see them all. What I really want to do is go through and come up with the 10 players we think are most likely to actually win the Wooden Award. And to help frame this discussion, I'll read you the names in order that DraftKings has listed as most likely to win the Wooden Award. But then I think our answer is going to be a little different than this. So, in order, DraftKings says Braden Smith is the favorite, JT Toppin second, Yaxel Lendeborg third, AJ DeBanza fourth, TKR fifth, Darren Peterson sixth, Darion Williams seventh, Otega Owe eight, Solo Ball nine, Donovan Dent 10, Boogie Flan, Richie Saunders, Emmanuel Sharp, Jacoby Gillespie, Bryce Hopkins, Alex Caravan, Todd Pettiford, Milos Uzan, DJ Wagner, Isaiah Evans round out the top 20. From there, we get into kind of chaos long shots. Jeremy Fears, Ryan Conwell, Nate Ament, Jackson Kohler is even on the list. Fletcher Lawyer's on the list, kind of crazy. Cam Boozer is not listed with the odds because he hasn't turned 18 yet. He's really only the only name that is missing from this list. But this video is not about the odds themselves. I want you and I to put our 10 most likely players to win the Wooden Award in order. Because, for example, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. TKR is the fifth most likely Wooden Award winner. But respectfully to TKR, in order for him to actually win the award, he would need to convince the whole world he's better than Braden Smith, which
Yeah.
is really hard for me to see happening. Even if he is the fifth best player in college basketball, that's a narrative shift that I just don't buy will happen. So I'll throw it to you. Where do you want to start with this? But our goal is to come up with our combined list of the 10 most likely Wooden Award winners.
Can we take the layup?
Braden Smith won.
Yeah. Let's get that out the way.
Hold up. I think Rudy Gobert just came out of nowhere and may have made that layup tougher than we thought.
Why?
Because if we're really talking probabilities here, it's not about who the best player is. I think TKR being so good could actually impact Braden Smith's chances of winning this award a little bit.
I just don't. I think that directly Braden's stats will increase. If TKR stats are increased, a lot of that would have to do with Braden's stats increasing too.
Yes, but like I think in general, when you have two first team All Americans on a team, those guys end up sharing the credit in a way that hurts both of their National Player of the Year campaigns.
So your way of attacking this is one singular guy being most likely.
I mean, if we want to keep Braden one, I'm fine with it because I believe he is no doubt the best player in the country. But
Mhm.
like you could convince me, here's some names that I think have a more straightforward path to just like, oh, if their team's really good, they're gonna get all the credit for it. Darren Peterson, Otega Owe, Donovan Dent, I think to an extent, JT Toppin and AJ DeBanza. Certainly Yaxel will get all the credit if Michigan's good. So again, we got to draw the line somewhere. I don't want to put Braden seventh, but like, do we really think that a guy with a teammate who is also a first team All American is really the most likely to win the award for singular best player?
Yes.
Okay, simple
Yeah.
as that then. All right,
Yeah.
Braden at one. Then where do we go next?
Okay, now I think I like where your thought process is going with the rest of the names on that list. Um, if honestly, if Kentucky's really good, is Otega Oweh not going to get all that credit?
That's what I'm saying. I think like even Tahad Pettiford's a guy you could throw in that.
Yeah, so I honestly, Ortega might be two or three. I think the Bansa and Toppin also need to be in this mold.
You gotta buy the thing with Ortega is you have to buy that he'll actually be that good, right?
If
Like
he's the same as he was last year and Kentucky's a top five team, does he not? I mean, he was pretty good last year.
16, 4, and 1. That's
Yeah,
not National Player of the Year numbers.
yeah, there's got to be more than
He
that.
would he would need to up it to like 22 and 5. And if he does that, then I think you're in the mix. I think that's possible. I don't know if I would say that's more likely than some of the other names on the list though.
Debansa second?
Just buy that the upside is totally real with him.
Yeah, and that he is just the best player and that the like he has the impact that a Cooper Flag has.
He's got Richie Saunders though. Like are you worried at all about the roster stuff?
No, I'm not saying because I think, in like the National Player of the Year landscape, Richie Saunders would be like the Con Knipple to Cooper Flag, basically. And Richie Saunders would be the Con Knipple to AJ Devance's Cooper Flag.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I see that. All right. Let's put AJ DeBance two then. Where do you want JT Toppin? I thought you would argue JT Toppin as high as possibly number one once I made my.
He'd be next for me. But to your point, you think that Christian Anderson could take a step. But I think that if Texas Tech is as good as I think they're going to be, JT Toppin's numbers are going to be something insane. Like 20, 24, and 12 type numbers.
So JT Toppin averaged 18, 9, and 1 last year on a top five team
Were they top five?
ish, right? They were two seed, weren't they?
Were they a two seed?
Two or three
Maybe.
seed? Like
Po-
top 10 team. Like and he was an All-American, so he's close. But like, how much more ups? Like, if he averages 18 and 9 again, you think that could be National Player of the Year? Or are you pitching me on like he's going to average 24 and 11?
I'm pitching he's going to average like 24 and 11. Yeah.
I guess I can buy that pitch. I like that more than like he just is who he is, and that's enough. I was going to compare his numbers to Graham EK's numbers for a second and try and talk you out of this because just
Yeah.
saying National Player of the Year JT Toppin out loud doesn't sit well with me.
It's just great with me. Also, the Graham EK thing goes out the window because Graham EK is doing it in the WCC while JT Top is doing it in one of the best conferences in college basketball.
I hear you. I hear you. I think that could be part of why he doesn't win National Player of the Year, though, but that's for another day. All right, so we have our top three Braden, AJ, JT.
I love my top three, and I feel like I've been very selfish in this, so I'm gonna let you throw out the next
Are
couple
you
names.
letting me go next because you know who should go next and you don't want to be the one to say it?
No, oh, Yaxel next?
Well, Yaxel's third per the sports books, and we're already putting him one spot lower. How much lower than the sports books have him are we going to put my superstar?
Oh, I was thinking about maybe not letting him in at all.
You don't think it's likely that he wins the Wooden Award?
I really do Perez.
You dingus. I think so here are names that I would feel okay about putting forth in descending order of where they're actually at in DraftKings odds. Yaxel, Darren Peterson, Otega Owe, Donovan Dent. Then I think you stop
Yeah.
and reset the board.
Yeah, I'm also thinking like numbers wise. Like these guys could possibly just have incredible numbers and their teams could be good too, but like the numbers just make it like they should be on there. Like you mentioned Donovan Dent. Donovan Dent could have some stupid numbers for UCLA this year.
Yaxel last year averaged 18, 11, and 4 on insanely good percentages. Let's say at Michigan, he doesn't need to pass as much because Cadeau's there, and he scores a couple more easy buckets playing off a passer. If he averages 21 and 11 at Michigan, like, and they're top 10, then we're talking already probably ahead of JT Toppin. So I don't know. I feel like Yaxel probably is truly the right answer. I think he's a top 5 player, and the Danny Wolf role is conducive to winning an award like this.
I'm fair. That's fair.
All right. Yaxel at 4. Bill Self says Darren Peterson is the most talented player he's ever coached. And he has a roster that is going to require him to do everything. If you believe in Darren Peterson, I think he should be 5th over Otega and Donovan Dent, but I'll let you decide because you are our resident Darren Peterson guy.
I think I go double P at this spot at these next two spots.
Okay.
Peterson, Pettiford.
Pettiford over Owe and
Yes.
Dent.
Yes. Actually, no, I don't feel good about that. No. I
There's
think
a world. I like Pettiford on the list.
Peterson, Owe, Dent, Pettiford.
I like Pettiford on the list. I'm starting to devil's advocate myself into thinking maybe there's some downsides to Pettiford's game that we're going to see this year.
I think, damn it, I thought I was early on the ground there.
He was so good at the combine, though. So
He
I'm
was.
I'm back in on Pettiford.
Okay. All right. I think we go Peterson, Owe, Dent, Pettiford.
Darren Peterson 5, Otega Owe 6, Donovan 7, Donovan Dent 7.
Doesn't it feel weird not having like what if Boogie Flan is really, really good for Florida?
Well, we have 2 more spots. And
Well,
I have a name that has to be here, and I will listen to Boogie.
who's the name that has to be there?
The guy taking the National Player of the Year's role.
Cameron?
Cameron Boozer should be higher than 9th on this list, too. And I'd like to retroactively bump everybody down because I would put Cam Boozer as high as 2nd on this list. In fact, Cart, I would put him as high as 1st, but you're not going to move grade off. I think Cam Boozer's more likely to win the award than DeBanza. I do, even if DeBanza's the better player, because DeBanza has more talent around him. Richie Saunders is going to get in the way the same way I argued against Braden and TKR kind of hurting each other a little bit. Like, to me, Cam Boozer is the exact archetype, respectfully to Darren Peterson. He's a guard. It's hard for guards to win National Player of the Year unless you're putting up triple doubles like Braden Smith could. Like, Darren Peterson's going to score 22 a game and just score, and who knows, Kansas probably won't be that good. Cam Boozer's going to be on a top 10 team all season long. Duke's going to win the ACC by 6 games again. He's going to put up like 20, 10, and 4, and he's going to be right in the mix. Like, at worst, he's going to be 2nd or 3rd. That's the whole sell on him.
Yeah, I honestly I find it hard to push back on that, especially with how good Duke's going to be, how he'll be the best player, and honestly, the ASS is still ringing true.
And there's no competition on his roster. There's nobody getting in the way of him. So I think we should put him 2nd. I think he should be ahead of DeBounce on this list.
So bump everybody down and put Boozer second.
I would do that if you'll allow me.
Of course, I'll allow you.
And then at 10, Boogie Fland.
Yes.
So no TKR on our 10 most likely National Player of the Years. But I'm fine with that because genuinely I don't see how he is perceived as better than Braden.
It would take something outwardly for TKR to do it, given what he's playing with Braden.
Okay. All right. So our top 10 most likely players to win the Wood Award. Braden Smith 1, Cam Boozer 2, AJ DeBonson 3, JT Toppin 4, Yaxel Lendeborg 5, Darren Peterson 6, Otega Owe 7, Donovan Dent 8, Todd Pettiford 9, Boogie Flan 10, TKR and Merez Johnson snubbed. Topic 2 today, how many teams can actually have national championship goals? Because earlier this week, we had a segment of defining success. And I was going through our YouTube comments, and there were quite a few people responding, being like, this is a stupid conversation. It's national title or bust. Then I'm looking around, and I'm hearing player interviews. Remember TKR's interviewed, like, how are you guys approaching this year? National title. We think that's who we are. AJ DeBonce's at the Team USA camp telling Gavoni, what's success for you this year? It's a national title. That's it. So presumably, like, everyone's saying it. It's the summer. You're allowed to say it. That's what you should say. That's the politically correct answer to be a basketball player and say our goal is a national title. But Cart, my question to you is how many teams can actually have that as a goal and mean it? How many is it okay to say? Because you've been a player, just like I've been in locker rooms and I've coached high school kids before. There were years I couldn't go into my high school team and be like, we're winning a district this year. If I did, everyone would have rolled their eyes at me and just, it wouldn't be taken seriously. So I'm sure you've been in locker rooms similarly. You got to read the room and you got to be honest. How many teams in their locker room right now can privately be looking at each other saying, we're winning a national championship and have everyone in that locker room believe it?
And not be lying to themselves.
And not be lying to themselves. I want a genuine, what is the list of teams that could be in practice right now, breaking down the huddle, saying natty on three, and everybody's bought in fully believing that's the vision.
Natty on three. Okay, I like this. I like this exercise.
All right.
Two layups, layup type podcast today, I guess. Shout out to the no laying up people. Don't cease and desist us. Purdue and Houston have very, very true natty on three title hopes.
Yep.
Yep.
I think
Uh,
that, warning, I think this list is going to be big.
yeah. Third, this is the tier I like to call has won it before or won it
Yep.
recently. You have the back-to-back national champs in UConn. You have Florida, who just did it.
Any Dan Hurley team can say that and genuinely mean it. Yep. And I think Florida absolutely is breaking down on natty.
Okay, now are we missing anyone in this like kind of section? Like they've, I don't know, they have experience winning it before, they have won it, something along those lines.
You could talk me into a bunch of teams here, and I would kind of believe it. I genuinely want your like player perspective because I think you know what I'm talking about, right? Like
Yeah,
sometimes some motivational bullshit is thrown out, and everyone's like, like you kind of lose the coach when some shit is
yeah.
said like that,
So
right?
I think BYU could be in this.
Talk me through how that's said and how it's being received. Like you think everyone in that gym just knows we're talented enough to do this? Because
I,
none of them have sniffed it.
None of them have sniffed it, but they
Rob
have
Wright hasn't sniffed it.
they haven't. But Rob Wright has won before.
Richie Saunders hasn't sniffed it.
They haven't sniffed it, but they know the talent they have.
Respectfully, Kevin Young hasn't sniffed it.
AJ DeBanza.
So just the idea that Debancis here suddenly flips to we are natty. We're a
Yes.
natty team. And
Yeah.
it's they're not skipping steps. It's
No.
not let's get to
They
Indy.
went they went to the Sweet 16 last year.
Right. But you're telling me that goal from day one for them is natty. It's not let's get to Indy.
No, it's Natty.
Because if you're a let's get to Indy team, you're not in my natty list.
So there's a let's get to the Final Four team.
I think there are teams that can reasonably say, let's get to Indy, that can't say, let's win a natty and genuinely mean it. I don't know if BYU is or is not, but I think that is a clear distinction. Like Michigan State, for example, respectfully, Michigan State could be sitting there. You could pitch me that they're actually doing the natty. But like that's the type of team I'm talking about where like you've got a history, the program defines itself by Final Fours. Yeah, you're starting Trey Fort and and Jackson Kohler and Carson Cooper, but like that's who we are. But if Izzo was walking into day one talking about it's natty time, you're telling me like someone in that locker room isn't looking at each other like, really? Like Izzo walks in that room and says Final Four. Hell yeah, we're bought in on that. I don't know where BYU falls on the spectrum. I don't. They're obviously talented enough, but I don't know if mentality wise anyone like can they say that with a straight face when none of them have actually done it? I don't know.
So Duke's on this list then, right? Because Duke,
I think when you go to Duke, you sign up for this, and I think
right?
they're talented enough and good enough. So yeah,
I think you when you go to Kentucky though, you sign up for that too.
with Kentucky, you get a little element of like haven't been there before, but Otega's back, and Otega's kind of leading the charge of like I came back to do this.
Yeah, as we're working through this, I'm trying to get a little bit of insight. Like where would Arkansas fall on this? Do they make the list?
I don't think they're talking that.
Louisville.
See, there's this whole middle ground of I don't know, I don't know. So let's work backwards. We have Duke and Kentucky for sure.
Yeah, we have Duke, Kentucky. We have Houston, Purdue. We have
UConn, Florida.
UConn, Florida.
And those six are for sure saying this out loud, and everyone's like, let's go get it.
Yeah.
I'm okay putting BYU here. I don't know if that's like how Kevin Young's approaching it. If it were me, I don't think it would be. But like AJ is, and I think when AJ Debanza says we're winning a natty, I think everyone else is like, okay, yeah, let's do it.
What about a weird one that maybe a team we don't think is highly on, but they're pitching like Natty?
There probably are a few of those.
Like St. John's, I think would actually fall into that mold.
They got so much incoming talent too, and Rick Pitino's that guy.
And he's won one.
Okay, so let's put St. John. We think St. John's is doing that, setting that as a realistic goal. Do you want to
Yes.
put BYU on the list?
Yes, because of Devanza.
And like, even if they're setting that as a goal at minimum. Yes. Okay. All right. So we have 8 teams right now. I threw Michigan State out, and you actually, as I talked through that, you could convince me that Michigan State is doing this. And like Tom Izzo is that wired by winning that in the middle of the summer, him and Jeremy Fears are like looking Carson Cooper in the eyes, like, let's go win our natty.
I mean, they're definitely doing that. They definitely are. But you said this has to be like some belief in it too.
Well, yeah, the element of this that gets you onto my list is that everyone in the room has to be hearing that and being like, yep.
That actually might be one thing that that what's it called that Michigan State has going for them.
Like
They,
you think Caleb Glenn, Divine Ugachukwu, Trey Fort are in that locker room hearing Jeremy Fears and Tom Izzo say national championship and being like, hell yeah, we got this.
no.
Then they can't be on my list. But if you
Those,
think the team collectively believes it when it's said,
I
I'll
think
put
the
them on the list.
returning I think all the returning guys think that.
I need the whole team. Like I think BYU probably does. When AJ Debanza looks them in the eye and says natty, 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 I think the bench guys are like, yeah, we got Debanza. When Jeremy Fears does it, you don't think Caleb Glenn's like, dog, you know what I mean? Like I don't you're making me say it out loud, but like,
Yeah, no, let's move on. Let's move on.
all
Let's move
right,
on.
well we got Michigan State hovering right now, not on the list. Uh is Michigan on this list? The projected top 10, Dusty's been to a Final Four. They have the third most likely Wooden Award winner, the most expensive player in the portal. But it's a lot of new names. They do have some guys back from a winning team last year, though.
It just strikes me as more Final Four than Natty, but I don't
It,
know.
it doesn't feel like Dusty would be like saying it out loud as a motivational tool. I don't think that's his style. If they were using like a success metric, I honestly think they might be talking about the Big Ten. Like let's go win our league.
I'm also looking at it from like a standpoint of people inside the locker room too. Like I think those guys want to be successful, but like, do you think it's natty talk? Like you think Yaxel's going to Michigan to be like natty?
Yaxel did use those words. He
He
said
did.
he said if when I do end up in Michigan, it's Natty and National Player of the Year. Those are the only goals.
Are people listening to that?
I don't know how Yaxel
I
is
don't.
received.
I don't think Elliot Cadeau listens. I think that Merez thinks he's better than Yaxel. Um, I don't think Will Cheddar's there.
Oh, I think Will Cheddar's there, but
No. Will Cheddar was already there. Yaxel called the meeting at 9.
oh
Will was in Chrysler at 5.
yeah.
He's already on his nap for the rest of the day.
I mean, I would say that it's kind of like Michigan State. I think like Namari Burnett, Will Cheddar, even Merez, and I think all those guys, the starters, are approaching the season of like, yeah, we can win the Natty. I don't know if the full picture would fully buy it if that's being said out loud. So I'm fine with that. We can leave Michigan off. If Michigan's off, I think Michigan State's off too. So we're
Yeah,
cutting both our teams.
yeah, I think so.
All right. Is Texas Tech on this list?
Unfortunately, no.
Why?
Just because I think that honestly, if they had Darian Williams back, I would say 100% yes.
Okay. I'm fine with that. Let me throw a couple others out here.
Okay.
Is Auburn on this list? They are delusional enough to do this. Pettiford came back. He might be talking. Sorry. Todd Pettiford came back. He might be doing this. Bruce Pearl, I feel like, only does motivate with the biggest golden goose.
Yeah, honestly, yes.
I
Because
think
of honestly a lot of Bruce Pearl in that.
I think Auburn's on the list. Is Alabama on the list?
I don't think so. I don't think this roster's national championship stuff.
I don't think Auburn's is either, but there's something motivationally about the way Pearl and Auburn do it that's different
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
Alabama and
Oh,
Owen.
God. You know
So,
what I'm saying?
yeah. Tennessee's not on this list because no one would believe Rick Barnes saying that.
Yeah. It's Rick Barnes.
And Gonzaga, I don't think is on this list because I don't think anyone would believe Mark Few saying that.
Yeah. And also, you do the question of like, is Graham EK the best player on the national championship team?
Arizona is the only other one, but they're so young. I don't think that's the
Young.
way they're talking.
Too much youth.
Kansas? Is Bill Self still operating that way?
I, Once again, belief in the locker room, like are Jaden Dawson, Trey White, and Melvin Council.
The thing is, you could convince me Council is, and Trey White's delusional enough too. I don't know.
And you have Peterson and Badunga.
But I don't know. That's you got to tell. I don't know. I would buy an argument for Kansas convincing themselves that's how we're doing this.
I don't know if I have an argument for you for them.
You don't. Okay, so we'll leave Kansas off. The only other two I wanted to quick run by you: UCLA and Illinois. Are either one of those talking natty in the summer, and does the locker room believe it?
Illinois, I actually would make an argument that they do.
But with how international they've gone, do you really think that's a motivational tactic? Like, does Mihailo Petrovic even care about a national championship? I know that sounds stupid, but like, aren't these guys motivated by other things? Why do they care about a national championship more than an Adriatic League championship?
Yeah, I mean that's fair to say. But then you look at the UCLA thing. What's it for them? Like for Wooden? For
No,
Walton?
I think it's just the idea that Cronin and Donovan Dent are like a perfect fit, and they're coming
Are
in.
they? I
I
have
don't
doubts.
know.
I have doubts about that fit, so I don't want to lead. Honestly, leave both of them off.
So you don't think Illinois qualifies?
No,
Okay. All right. So then, in summary, our teams. Unless, did you want Louisville on the list? I don't know if Pat. I don't think I'd buy a Pat Kelsey thing.
not yet.
Like, I think if Pat Kelsey started saying that,
I
the
mean, I'm
whole,
buying. Just
I
letting
think
you know.
all the players would look at Pat and be like, is this another one of your bits? Are you doing like the space thing again when you talk about Natty? Like, okay, so that means our official, these teams are allowed to have national championship goals list. Purdue, Houston, UConn, Florida, Duke, Kentucky, St. John's, BYU, and Auburn. We have 9 teams, and that feels right to me, Cart.
It does.
Topic 3 today. I want to work together yet again, Cart, and I want to go through the NBA lottery and basically come up with an updated mock draft. I'm calling it Mock Draft 3.0, but with this time, there's a catch. We're going to trade every single pick. How this can work: we can either collectively come up with trade ideas together, or we can alternate and someone can basically spit out a trade proposal. The other person can accept or deny it, and then we have to make the pick very quickly after that. How would you like to proceed?
Can we work together?
We can work together. Yeah.
I like working hand in hand with you.
It's been a very cohesive show today, I think. We've had a lot of teamwork. So let's finish it that way. First on the clock is the Dallas Mavericks. And I guess our job is to be GM of the Mavericks. What is our proposed trade to trade out of the number one pick here?
So you're trading away Cooper Flag, basically.
Yep.
You you need a star. You need a NBA superstar in return for that. I think there's only one possible mock trade that could be brought up that's already been brought up.
Okay.
It's I need I need Giannis. I need picks, and I also need who's a young Bucks player that'd be worth it to throw in this. I mean, they really don't have much. They had to agree to just cut Kyle Kuzma.
So basically, we just want to use Flag to get Giannis.
Yeah.
Can I throw one alternative at you, which this is worse for the Mavs, but like I feel like there's got to be an air of incompetence to anything Nico Harrison does.
hmm
We know him and Rob Pelinka have a good relationship, right?
Braun for Cooper Flag.
I mean, you're trying to flank Kyrie Irving, who LeBron has already won a championship with, and Anthony Davis, who LeBron has already won a championship with. Could we not just go all in on 1 year? LeBron James and Bronny has to throw in, of course, to Dallas in between the win now roster. And now the Lakers have two very exciting whites to build around.
That'd be exciting. It'd also be funny to see the holdup in that trade being like Jaden Hardy or like Derek. They refuse to move off Derek Lively.
Do you know how much Dallas would riot if they traded? Honestly, trade for LeBron James and your fan base hates you at the end of it.
Yeah,
But also 1 year of Kyrie, Clay, Bron, AD.
you win a ship in that year, it's worth it.
I don't know. All right, so we're gonna do the Bucks trade, and then actually we don't even need to make the picks of the actual draft. The Bucks take Cooper Flag though, and then we just got Giannis to the Mavs. Okay, number two is the Spurs. What do we do with pick two?
Ooh, okay. So they're probably gonna take Dylan Harper at this spot, but they could make a move for. I mean, looks like there's kind of a sale going on, possibly with the Grizzlies. I'm trying to think of something crazy here where we package this to get Ja Morant.
So I think Ja's going to be a name that comes up later because I do think the Grizzlies are selling. But let me give you my pitch because I guess our rules for this are we have to trade the pick, right?
Hmm.
It's not
Yes.
trade something else. We have to trade the pick. If the Spurs were going to move off of Dylan Harper, I think that they would feel good about Fox and Castle and want like a front court pairing with Wemby. Could you trade two for Jaren Jackson?
Do you like the Jaren and
I think
Wemby thing?
Fox Castle, Jaren Wemby would be pretty insane.
It would be, and young too,
Yep.
younger.
I think that'll work. Now, obviously, you need to work out other things and who's throwing in additional picks, but
Let's go with that because I think they feel good with like Castle being like the guy at the guard spot, right?
the only other one that I've heard someone floated that I kind of liked was the Jazz using Lowry Markkinen to move up and get two, and they would trade five and Lowry to the Spurs for just two. Jazz end up with Dylan Harper, a guy they believe more in, and then the Spurs get Lowry and drop down to five, where they get like probably Trey Johnson or Ace Bailey or VJ Edgecombe.
Damn, I like that too. And
I
then you
like
have
that too.
Lori Wemby as a pairing.
If we do that, that would you do that if you're the Jazz? Would you give up Lowry to get Dylan Harper? I think I would.
I think I would too, especially because like you're going to like they've been looking to trade him like all the time. Like
So
you
let's
might as
let's do that and knock out the second and fifth pick. We just traded the second and fifth for
well.
each
I
other, so
like
that's
that.
good.
Ooh,
Jaron is still available since we know the Grizz want to sell off of things right now. The third
right.
pick is the Philadelphia 76ers. This is where the draft starts, according to most smart draft people. What does Philly want?
Oh, who's the healthiest player in the league? Just trade for him. That's what they want to do. Someone who can give them 82 games. All right. I'm trying to do something for Philly. They gotta want to move off like Paul George, I feel like. But he might not have the value. The value might be with Embiid. So like could they move off of Embiid and just go all in on like I don't know. I don't know what that trade would look like though. But I'm just thinking like players they move off of.
Giannis is already gone in this hypothetical world since we traded him. This isn't where Kevin Durant wants to go, but couldn't you see them making a Durant splash?
So what would it look like? They give up.
I mean, I don't. Would the Philly probably
The
wouldn't
thing
even
is,
want
the
to
thing
trade
is,
three
the
for.
thing is, the Sun like they would trade with the Suns in that case. They'd want young talent, so they probably want you got to give up Bailey and McCain or Bailey Maxey.
I think the number three pick might be enough to get Durant based on what the market is for a 37-year-old.
Desmond Bain got four.
Futures. I
Yeah,
mean, if you
true.
want to throw some futures out, fine. But
Yeah. All right, I like let's take that one. They move off of but who are they moving off of though? That's the thing.
we see that's the thing. I don't think the Sixers want to draft Ace Bailey. I don't know. So there's,
So you think it's just straight up this pick for Durant?
yeah, pretty much. But they probably don't even have the money for that. They probably need to shed cap anyway with Embiid on the roster. But I don't know. To me, that I just could see Philly trying to like make a Nixie type splash where they just go in on a superstar and move off the third pick to do it. And that's the first one that came to mind for me. But
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right, moving on. Hornets at 4.
Hornets at 4. Um, let's see. I think they could use like a Durant on. I know we just did it, but Durant on the Hornets is a funny thing to even think about. Um, or they could use a Jaren type, but we already traded him too.
No, we still
Um,
have Jaren available, but I still might want to save that for later.
let's save that. Let's do mm,
So there's been rumors that they're in the mix for like Jared Allen.
Jared Allen, huh?
Yeah, I mean that seems random, but I don't
Jared
know. Like,
Allen.
do they want just like a front court piece?
Okay, what if the Hornets drafted Man this high at 4 and you do Man for Jared Allen and something else?
I mean, this seems kind of Hornetsy just because, like, why? What's the point? It's gross,
Yeah, but
right?
like also that's the franchise.
Or let me ask you something. Is there any world that the Celtics blow this up with Tatum out next year?
They could like go after like a Derek White,
I
like
think they,
something that's like
I
a
think,
veteran winner.
Card, I think they could dream bigger than Derek White with the fourth pick.
Jalen Brown?
If the Celtics blow it up and want to tank a year for DeBanza, which I think would honestly be a smart move, rather than like be in the middle of the pack with Jalen Brown, just blow it up. Know you're getting Tatum back. Maybe try and get DeBanza. In the meantime, the Hornets get a proven all-star level player, which I don't know how else they would get one. Jalen Brown to Charlotte, 4 to the Celtics, and then I don't know who would have to sweeten that, honestly. But if I'm the Celtics, I would do that.
I'm on the Celtics. I do that too.
Okay.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
All right, so that's the pitch. Who would the Celtics take it for then? Like, why do I think they might take a center?
They possibly could.
Or no, you take Ace Bailey because that's the developmental one, and then a year from now, you hope you have Jason Tatum, Ace Bailey, and AJ DeBonta.
Yeah. What's it like? Okay. Oh, that'd be
That'd
so
be
mad
fun.
at that.
All right, we already did the Jazz. The Wizards at 6. The Wizards need to like go for something too.
They gotta try to get a. Well, they're not gonna see. The thing is, stars aren't gonna go there. Like they're not gonna get. They would be in the running for like a Derek White type. I feel like Derek White's gonna come up in all these.
Yeah, if I mean, we're just shedding certain teams, but if the Celtics want to move off Derek White, the Wizards just like overpay for another guard.
Yeah, 100. Like Derek White becomes the highest paid guard in the league.
Okay. Fine by me. I mean, that's not going to happen. The Wizards should just sit there and take Con, but all right. So the Wizards trades. This is not how NBA trades work either. We're building off centerpieces, folks. To the 7th spot, New Orleans, and I have an idea for this one.
And this is fun because you have so much tradable stuff here, and they basically are saying they'll move off anybody but Trey Murphy.
So everybody kind of thinks New Orleans wants to move off of Zion, right?
Yeah,
What if they go in the opposite direction?
build around the horny man.
What if they make a run at Ja with the Grizzlies shedding everything to pair Ja and Zion? That would be like the ultimate desperation move, but I feel like New Orleans is in a desperate spot given that Zion's the star.
It'd be kind of fun
Two super athletic guys came from the same draft class.
from the same area.
Now, I think you'd have to give up more than 7. It'd have to be like 7 in futures, but they could.
Who's got the best culture in the NBA?
I don't know. Miami probably.
I think I would need Miami as a third team trade partner on this, and we just want their PR person.
That's a good idea. I want Ja in Minnesota, by the way, with Ant. That's my dream Ja trade. I've been
That
thinking
is
about
a
that for
dream.
a while. But
That could work.
all right, 8, Brooklyn. Can they even get anything? Who cares about Brooklyn?
Trendon Watford. Honestly, there's nothing they could really do with the roster they have. They could possibly like see what Cam Thomas could get them,
Do we
but
care about any of the rest of this? I feel like I only cared about the top 6.
I mean, when you start getting to these teams, they're kind of pretty nasty and don't have much to trade. Can we just do the
Yeah.
Pistons just because I want to know?
Sure. Let's just end with the Pistons because I'd rather, once you started saying, who'd you just say? I thought tuned out when you said your last
Trendon
name.
Watford and Cam
Yeah. Once
Thomas.
you said that, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Give me one Pistons draft night trade. What do you got?
I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give. I'm gonna package Tobias Harris, Jaden Ivey. I'm not even sure who else you want. I'm doing this. I want Durant.
You want Durant.
I want Durant.
I think you would already had Durant when you said Ivy. I think that's the asking price.
You think we get Ivy for Durant straight up?
I think Durant is cheap as hell right now, dog.
I would go. I would. Would you not do that?
I don't know that I would.
Really?
I think a 37-year-old KD is not what I want to pair Cade with at all.
Give me your ideal Pistons trade. I know you got one something in the back that you.
It's that same package, but for Book. But it sounds like Phoenix isn't going to move Book. But I really liked the idea of Ivy, Holland, whatever picks needed, even Stewart. I wouldn't mind moving Isaiah Stewart for just get Cade, Booker, Asar, Duran, and go from there. Um, I will say, like the Magic trade this weekend has me rethinking everything. That's the move I wish the Pistons would have made. Just unload, like we could have traded Malik Beasley and 4 future firsts for Desmond Bain and been the East favorites. Like, okay, we should do that. And he's under contract for 5 years. So
Yeah.
like we don't have to worry about him leaving Detroit the way we would everybody else. But I think you're gonna see teams in the East do that though, because everybody's doing what I said last week, looking up and being like, oh shit, the Pacers are doing this.
Hmm.
That's us. If we make one move, we're right there. And I don't know where that leaves us.
Yeah. Free my guys.
Crazy times. Also, I found out that Tyrese Halliburton and Jalen Suggs are cousins,
Really?
which makes me really want to buy the Magic next year.
Good God.
I
I know
love that core so much.
you're a Magic guy, aren't you?
I am. One big thing presented by NBA 2K Lab. What do you have today, my sick friend?
You know what that is, Greg? You know what that siren's the alarm for?
I don't know.
It's a dad discovery alert. Now, obviously, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, but I have reached a milestone in my fatherhood that I would like to speak on real quick, if you don't mind.
Please.
I have discovered that some of the things that my child eats are good just as I would want them, just as a snack. And I want to send a particular shout out to these little guys right here, the Bomba peanut butter puffs. Let me tell you. This little 100-calorie bag right here is special. These are absolutely delicious. My son loves them. He's a big puff guy in general. Obviously there's different flavors of them you can get. There's like yogurt puffs, there's apple coconut puffs. There's all types of flavors. But these in general are a snack that I would buy them in a massive like Costco style bag and just eat these. The peanut butter puffs are impeccable. Shout out to Bamba for making this great snack.
That's been a staple in my household for months. Yeah.
I'm eating my son's snacks. These are his. He
Yeah,
gave
I'm,
these he
I'm
gave
not a
these to
fan of
Bob.
that move. That you got to draw the line as a father on that.
What's he gonna do about it?
Run out of food.
He'll be fine. He didn't buy it.
I guess so. You just
I'll
buying
buy I'll
are
buy
you,
him more.
are you buying 2 boxes of those every time right now so you get your own,
I
your own?
will be in the future if I know there's gonna be a bomba shortage in the household.
My problems, I don't like anything with Cheeto Puff consistency without Cheeto Puff flavor. And that's exactly those. They're just Cheeto Puffs with peanut butter instead of cheese, and it pisses me off every time.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, not great, but I respect it. All right. My one big thing, I think, is the only one big thing that I've done repeatedly throughout the history of this program. I think this is the third time I've made this my one big thing. But I'd like to shout out once again my favorite product on earth, in my opinion, a top two invention in human history, alongside the Ziploc bag, of course. Icy Hot. Icy Hot is special. I'm back in Icy Hot mode. I have a big knot in my thigh car. I was driving to Detroit, just like rubbing my thigh incessantly. And Matt was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I don't know. I got like a deep tissue thing going on right now. Feels incredible." Got home, icy hotted that last night. Icy hotted this morning after the run. Made it through the run successfully. Shout out to Icy Hot, my favorite product. If I could, I would icy hot every inch of my body just for funsies every day. And I'm also now thinking about making a competing product called Hot Icy, where it does the same thing Icy Hot does, but in reverse.
I don't honestly that might work out pretty well. Also, I was so under the assumption that you were a Vicks Vapor Rub guy.
It's no, totally different intentions with those. But like every time I use icy hot, it's great. And then at the end, I'm like, damn, I wish I was icy to end this instead of hot.
Two things as an icy hot veteran that I need to warn you about. One, never let it get on your balls. And
Already
two,
did that.
that's the worst, isn't it?
Did it intentionally in college as a bit when I first started dating Mal, actually. Long story.
Yeah, we'll have to talk online on that. And two, be careful how close you do it to showers.
That is something that still gets me. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you do it, because once you get in that water on that icy hot, ooh,
Yeah. No, the post shower icy hot is the move. Yeah.
yeah,
Yep. All
agree.
right. That's the show today. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.